Quick question. Have I by any chance mentioned how crazy this world of Remnant is? Seriously, I have legitimately forgotten if I had mentioned that before. If so, I apologize in advance because buckle your seatbelts, kids. We taking another trip down to Rantville. Population us. Let me get one thing straight. This world, as crazy as it is not terrible. It has many problems, but it could be a lot worse. Seriously, we could live in a world that was ravaged by a war between a bunch of greedy corporations to the point where the central government broke down, as well as any kind of civilized society. That is oddly specific, but you get my point. It could be a lot worse. But, and not to sound like a broken record, it's nowhere near amazing. I mean, seriously, we, and by we I mean the world of Remnant, seem to have a big crime problem. Whether it's low-life thugs and gangsters or big-time organized crime and terrorist groups, it just seems like they're doing pretty well for themselves. Not only that, the people who should be dealing with these kinds of groups are either not doing anything about them, or they're just not doing a very good job of it. To make matters worse, this world seems to be on the verge of a race war between a bunch of shaved monkeys and furries. Yes, you heard that correctly. Shaved monkeys, furries. Most of the time, don't go well together. Now, of course, I could be completely wrong about all this and just be shouting senseless babble, as all that's just my perspective on all this. I'm a mercenary, not a politician. I do odd jobs that mostly involve killing people for money and saving little kitty cats from trees. And the occasional big kitty cat from trees. How they get up there, I have no idea, but they do. I just realized I started a rant talking about what I think is going on in the world of Remnant right now, and just ended it about how I saved cats from the top of trees. I should probably quit while I'm ahead. Towns outside the big city's sphere of influence can have many important establishments for a traveling hunter or huntress, town halls for bounty boards, and inns for easy access to room and board. Both are very useful in the day-to-day life of a hunter or a huntress, but there is one more place of interest that is just as important, if not more important, than both of those. Taverns. These local watering holes are a vault of information about what's been going on lately, the right amount of encouragement to the right bartender, and now you know the town's latest gossip. And as they say, knowing is half the battle. They're also useful for drinks after long hikes in the woods. Virgin Cuba Libre. Shaken. Not stirred. I told the bartender as I sat down at a bar. About a day or two after Crow and I parted ways, I walked into a small town named Romero, settled down at a local inn, and walked over to the tavern to relax a bit and try to get a feel for the place I just walked into. As the bartender handed me a drink, a man sat down next to me and said, "I saw you save that cat from that tree earlier. Mighty kind of you to do that." Oh, I may have forgotten to mention I saved a cat as I walked into town. A cat had climbed itself up into a tree, and someone had asked me to go get it. I had nothing better to do, so I obliged. "I try to help out if needed," I replied. The man glanced at my weapons and then looked back to me and said, "Judging by the weapons, one could assume that you're some kind of hunter." "You'd be correct, my friend. The name's John." "Vic, I'm the sheriff in these parts. I've got something I would like you to do." We both got up and went to a small table in the corner of the room, and Vic started filling me in on what he wanted me to do. According to him, there was a small town nearby that was ransacked by Grimm, causing the inhabitants to flee. Soon after, a band of crazies started holding up in the ruins as their base camp. We both got up and went to a small table in the corner of the room, and Vic started filling me in on what he wanted me to do. According to him, there was a small town nearby that was ransacked by the Grimm, causing the inhabitants to flee. Soon after, a band of crazies started holding up in the ruins as their base camp. The local residents didn't seem to care all that much until recently when the crazies started growing more and more hostile, leaving the locals a little on edge. This is where I come in. As the sheriff, Vic wanted to send in a squad to deal with the crazies before becoming more and more volatile and outright attacking the city. But he has never really gotten the support to actually go through with it. Vic wants me to move in on the crazies' base camp and take care of them however I see fit to make sure that they don't do any more damage. It was starting to get late, and I was tired from all the walking I did that day, so I told Vic I would head out in the morning to go deal with the crazies. I paid the bartender for my drink, left the tavern, and returned to my room at the inn to sleep before I left for the job. The following morning, I got up and checked my gear before I left, and headed out to the town hall to meet Vic once more to review details before I started making my way to the ruins. There he told me one last important detail. The crazies worship some kind of idol. Vic wanted me to bring it back as proof of me dealing with them. It was a simple task, so I had no problem obliging with it. When we finished reviewing details, I headed out immediately, as it would take me at least half the day to reach my objective. I reached the abandoned city by mid-afternoon, to which I immediately started scouting the area as so I could start making a plan of attack. I counted about 10 to 15, which meant rushing straight in would be a stupid choice as I would end up getting overwhelmed by the number of enemies. Instead, I figured I should hold my attack until night, where under the cover of darkness I could slowly pick off my opponents one by one, quickly and silently. When night finally came around, it was fairly dark out with only a few light sources, the moon and a bonfire in the middle of town. There were a couple stragglers patrolling the perimeter, meaning I would have to take them out before I could make my entry into the town. I counted 5 guards that I had silently taken down with my knife. From there, I started my infiltration, and as I slowly made my way closer to the center of town, I started hearing a noise of some sort, like a music of some kind. I peeked around a corner to find most, if not all, the men around the campfire doing this odd tribalistic chant. To give a general idea of what I heard, I'll do my best impression of what I heard. Ooga chaka, ooga 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 chaka, ooga ooga
Girl,
ooga
you
chaka,
just
ooga
don't
ooga ooga
realize
chaka, ooga
what
ooga
you do to
ooga
me
chaka, ooga 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 chaka, ooga ooga
when you
ooga
hold me
chaka, ooga ooga ooga
in your
chaka,
arms
ooga
so
ooga
tight.
ooga
You let
chaka,
me know
ooga 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 chaka,
that
ooga
everything's
ooga
all
chaka,
right.
ooga ooga.
I'm
Right then and there, I definitely knew why they had to be dealt with. Anyone partaking in that is completely out of their mind. I immediately started thinking of ways to deal with them, which was not easy as they were all in one place, outnumbering me 10 to 1. You see, when dealing with crazies, it's important to understand that they are different from your average opponent. You have some good things going for you, as well as some bad. The good thing is that they're crazy. They do stupid shit. The bad thing is that, well, they're crazy. They do stupid shit.
Sir, the gods, they're dead.
After hearing that, I quickly pulled the pistol out of its holster, getting ready to fight, as I was sure that the crazies would start looking for me.
That could only mean one thing. That today is the day foretold by the scrolls. Everyone run! The cow tipper has come to reap our souls!
As they scattered in different directions, I got up from where I was hiding and thought, I am a crazy cultist demon of some sort known as the cow tipper. Cool. I scavenged around to hopefully find something of use, but unfortunately I couldn't find anything. I was able to find their idol, which ended up being a stuffed cat. I swear I did not mean for this part to mention cats so often. So when everything was done and over with, I decided to stay the night in the former crazy base, as I didn't really feel like running into Grimm in the middle of the night. I left the following morning and reached Romero by early afternoon, and gave Vic the crazy's idol, and in return he gave me a pretty hefty reward, 10,000 in cash. Quite worth it, as that's a good couple weeks of food and rooms, plus the occasional drink at a tavern. With all my business concluded, I left Romero that same afternoon richer than when I had arrived 2 days earlier, and with my head held high, as I could truly say I helped some people in a time of need. I had no idea what challenges were to come on this journey of mine, but the mission I just completed gave me the confidence I would need to be able to keep pushing further, as it was only going to get harder from there. Towns outside the big city's sphere of influence can have many important establishments for a traveling hunter or huntress. Town halls for bounty boards and other such jobs. Town halls for bounty boards and other such jobs? That got into the script? That makes no sense. For jobs. Town halls for bounty boards. Why do I have and other such jobs? That makes no sense. Why did I think that was a good idea? Town halls for bounty boards. Inns for easy. Okay, no, we're just gonna get rid of that line. We both got up and went to a small table in the corner of the room, and Vic started filling me in on what he wanted me to do. According to him, there was a small table nearby. Yes, a small table was ransacked nearby. Fucking hell, why do I want to keep saying table? Breaking news. Small table in the corner of the room was ransacked by crazies and Grimm. Crazies, Grimm, and cats, oh my.